A federal judge ordering further construction of Alligator Alcatraz to stop over, get this, environmental concerns.
In Florida, Governor DeSantis' office reacting, quote, today's ruling by an activist judge will have no impact on immigration enforcement in Florida. Alligator Alcatraz will remain operational.
The left-wing liberal nuts better suck it up, because Alligator Alcatraz is already paving the way for similar facilities like the brand new Speedway Slammer in Indiana, which is expected to expand detention bed space by 1,000 beds.
Yeah, get ready for a new Brickyard. You know what I'm talking about there. And joining us now, Fox and Friends Weekend co-host Charlie Hurt. Charlie, this game with the environmental arguments with Florida, it started in 1969 first time, went to 1970 or so. They've been going at this. 2015, it was an international air show. They failed every time. What's the deal here?
Yeah, and it's really funny if you actually look at a map of the Everglades and you see this tiny little, it's like a little speck. You can't even see it in the vast Everglades. And the idea that this is going to have some kind of environmental impact is beyond absurd. But setting aside that absurdity, the idea that a federal judge is going to step in and try to interfere with a president's agenda and a governor's agenda in this case as well, to try to get rid of the invasion of illegals into this country is probably even more absurd than the environmental side of all of this. Clearly, she is an activist judge. Clearly, she is listening to, I don't know what she's listening to, but she's not listening to the Constitution, and she's not listening to the case that's before her, because if she were, she would have laughed it out of her courtroom. It is, and it's also quite dangerous. But unfortunately for Democrats, this is the only hope. They have lost. You know, voters have stripped them of any authority, any power, anywhere, and their only avenue for getting anything done at this point is hoping that activist left-wing judges will carry their water for them.
Charlie Hurt, what is President Trump not focused on? The man is thinking about everything. So he's taking action to make sure that illegal aliens are not counted in the census. He said in a Truth Social post, it was early this morning, before I even got up, I think, directing the Commerce Department to start work on a new census, because the counts in the census, which was done last in 2020, it's done every 10 years, are used in congressional apportionment and are also used to dole out federal spending. And do you trust that no illegal migrants were counted in that?
Yeah. You know, I love something you said in the previous segment, Dagan, talking about how you've got a president here who's looking not, in the future months or, next year. He's looking decades down the line. And I think one of the things, as amazed as sort of we all are at watching President Trump, I think that we don't fully appreciate the fact that this is a guy, we've never seen a politician like this, at least not in my lifetime, who is so willing to spend political capital. Not usually politicians spend political capital only to get themselves reelected in some way. This is a guy who spends political capital to get monumental things done, monumental things that can't be undone, things that are going to be here for decades and decades to come. And this is a perfect example of that. Of course, the Constitution requires a decennial census, but that doesn't mean that you can't do it more often than every 10 years. You could do it every year if Congress wanted to. And the idea that we have a census that, I understand that there may be some value in counting, trying to figure out how many illegals are in the country. That one way of doing that would be to have a border and actually count them when they come in. But of course, Democrats don't want to do that. The only thing that they care about them for is for this apportionment. The only thing that gets Democrats out of bed under any circumstances is cementing their own power or getting power. That's the only thing they care about, ever. And so the reason they're squalling right now about this, about redistricting, all they care about, and the reason that they left the border open, wide open, for 4 years of Joe Biden, and then prior to that, is because they think that by getting millions of illegals into blue cities and blue states, they can hold on to all their congressional seats that they are currently losing because Americans, legal Americans, are leaving their hellholes to go to places like Texas and Florida, where they enjoy being in America and enjoy the freedoms of America. So they're desperately trying to sort of hold those seats in their areas. And like I said, power, it's the only thing that gets them out of bed.
Bring back the citizenship question. Bottom line, that'll help.
Amen.
Let's move on to this. Yeah. President Trump considering federalizing D.C. over unchecked rampant crime, including potentially taking control of the city's police and deploying the National Guard. And here's what U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro said about it on the Ingram Angle last night.
The problem in D.C., and President Trump, in his effort to make D.C. safe and beautiful, said to me, I want you to enforce the law to make sure that there's accountability. And I spoke to the president yesterday at length about what was going on here. I said, if you're 14, 15, 16, or 17 years old, you get coddled, as you do in most American Democrat cities. The D.C. Council, and the president is right, they've got to stop their coddling. Number one, we've got to lower the age of responsibility to 14.
Charlie, quick one.
You know, it's another example where the President Trump is not looking at things the way every politician before him does. He looks at the capital city of the United States of America, of the greatest country on earth, and it is a crime-ridden hellhole, and it has been for a long time. And especially when you compare it to the capital cities of far lesser countries than ours, far poorer countries than ours, and he looks at this and says, this does not have to be this way. We can change it. We must change it. And I have a lot of faith that he will actually change it.
And under the Home Rule Act of the last 50 some odd years, the president has the authority to take over the police department of the District of Columbia, and he also controls the National Guard. So look out, you teenagers who don't even...
And another example where Democrats always talk about giving statehood to D.C. Why? Because they want to fix it? No, they'll make it worse. The only thing they want out of it is another congressional seat and 2 Senate seats. That's the only reason they care about it. They don't care about anybody except their own power.
And then pack the court, Charlie Hurt, pack the court. That's what they want.
Yep.
Fear equals control.
Yep.
Control equals power. Charlie Hurt, love you, mean it. Straight ahead.
Great to see you.